Good evening, everyone. We have breaking news out of Iran at this moment. We're interrupting your regular scheduled programming because ABC News has learned that Israel has launched an attack on Iran, likely targeting Iran's nuclear sites. Tensions have been mounting in the region for several days. President Trump told reporters today that it could happen at any time. We want to go now to Selena Wang, who has the latest from the White House. Selena, what can you tell us?
Well, Lindsay, earlier today I had asked President Trump about how imminent this Israeli strike on Iran's nuclear facility could be, and the president had told me that this could very well happen, adding that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, telling me that the U.S. would help Iran be successful in any other way, even trading with the country. Now, this comes as President Trump in his second term has repeatedly stressed that Iran cannot be developing a nuclear weapon, that it cannot have a nuclear weapon. This comes as his envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, is actually heading to Oman on Sunday. He's scheduled to have another round of nuclear talks between the U.S. and Iran. There have been several rounds so far, Lindsay, of nuclear talks, and the president has repeatedly said that he's confident that the U.S. and Iran are getting close to a deal. But just this week, the president said that he was becoming less confident. He also told me today that if there is a strike from Israel on Iran's nuclear facilities, he was concerned that this could derail their negotiations.
I was going to ask you, Selena, what could this escalation mean potentially for those peace talks?
Well, again, the president, he had actually asked Netanyahu, he said last month, not to launch this sort of strike, worried that this could harm the ongoing U.S.-Iran negotiations. The president today saying that he believes this could, quote, blow up those negotiations. Now, this also comes, though, as the U.S. has already ordered some non-essential staff to leave Iraq, and also as the administration has also authorized family members of military members to leave if they want to voluntarily leave across the Middle East. The president saying that it could become a very dangerous place, and he wanted to make sure that Americans would be safe.
Israel has moved to shut schools on Friday as a protective measure as an Iranian retaliatory strike campaign is expected. U.S. State Secretary Marco Rubio confirms Washington was not involved in the strikes. Explosions were heard in the Iranian capital, Tehran, as Israel claimed it was attacking the country. Iranian state media reported explosions in the northeastern parts of the city. The leader of Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, General Hossein Salami, was confirmed dead by Iranian state-run media. Another top IRGC official, along with 2 nuclear scientists, are also believed to have been killed. Tehran has vowed to retaliate strongly to what it considers a grave escalation. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, confirmed early on Friday that an Israeli strike hit Iran's uranium enrichment facility at Natanz. In a statement on the social platform X, the IAEA's head, Rafael Mariano Grossi, was quoted as saying, "The IAEA is closely monitoring the deeply concerning situation in Iran. The agency is in contact with Iranian authorities regarding radiation levels. We are also in contact with our inspectors in the country." Israeli leaders cast the preemptive assault as a fight for the nation's survival, adding that it was necessary to head off what they described as an imminent threat that Iran would pose if it developed nuclear weapons. It remains unclear how close the country is to achieving that or whether it had been planning a strike. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel targeted both nuclear and military sites. It could be a year, it could be within a few months, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, as he vowed to pursue the attack for as long as necessary to remove this threat. "This is a clear and present danger to Israel's very survival," he said. The strike on Iran pushed the Israeli military to its limits, requiring the use of aging air-to-air refuelers to get its fighter jets close enough to attack. It wasn't immediately clear if Israeli jets entered Iranian airspace or just fired so-called standoff missiles over another country. Fighter jets were reportedly heard flying overhead in Iraq at the time of the attack. The attack comes as tensions have reached new heights over Tehran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. The Board of Governors at the IAEA, for the first time in 20 years on Thursday, censured Iran over it not working with its inspectors. Iran immediately announced it would establish a third enrichment site in the country and swap out some centrifuges for more advanced ones. Israel for years has warned it will not allow Iran to build a nuclear weapon, something Tehran insists it doesn't want, though officials there have repeatedly warned it could. Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz announced an emergency situation in the country following the attacks. He said schools would be closed nationwide on Friday, adding that an Iranian retaliation of missiles and drones are to be expected in the immediate future. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Israel took unilateral action against Iran and that Israel advised Washington that it believed the strikes were necessary for its self-defense. "We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region," Rubio said in a statement released by the White House. Rubio said the Trump administration took steps to protect its forces and remained in contact with its partners in the region. He also issued a warning to Iran that it should not target U.S. interests or personnel. A U.S. media outlet says President Donald Trump has reportedly convened his cabinet for an emergency meeting following the Israeli attack. In the days leading up to the attacks, Washington has made clear that it will not participate in any Israeli attacks on Iran. Trump had urged Israel to refrain from striking Tehran and to seek diplomatic solutions, but acknowledged that an Israeli strike could very well happen. Trump earlier said he urged Netanyahu to hold off on any action while the administration negotiated with Iran. "As long as I think there is a chance for an agreement, I don't want them going in because I think it would blow it," Trump told reporters. The U.S. has been preparing for something to happen, already pulling some diplomats from Iraq's capital, Baghdad, and offering voluntary evacuations for the families of U.S. troops in the wider Middle East region. Iran halted flights Friday at Imam Khomeini International Airport outside of Tehran, the country's main airport, according to state-run media. Iran has closed its airspace in the past when launching retaliatory attacks against Israel. Our journalists are working on this story and will update it as soon as more information becomes available. Like and subscribe for more. Thanks!